SDP, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
Hi, everybody. Is there a Trouba in paradise? Whoa.
Jesse in his glasses. Handsome.
Jesse,
Good for
can
you.
you see with those?
Well, I have my contact lenses in.
You have
So
contacts?
Yeah.
it's doubling up.
Whoa, so you can like see thoughts.
You got 40-20.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I can see into your brain.
That's
and it's
cool.
saying, Trouba sucks.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's what Steve thinks.
That's
Still-
not
Steve said that.
entirely
said
what
that.
Steve
He said
thinks.
that's been saying that for years. It's kind of weird, actually. He's got this hate
I
on
have
for Jake
not been saying
Trouba.
that.
He even said his art sucks from the Amazon documentary.
His art is lovely.
He said his art was terrible and what a loser and bum, and he should be at home only
not
thinking
a
about
loser.
hockey. That's what Steve said.
He's won a lot more.
Hey,
than my team.
by the way, Kingston Frontenac's SDPN night, not today, 2 days from now, Sunday, December 8th, taking on the Sarnia Sting. There is a pregame skate bundle. There is a game and podcast bundle. You can check them all out right now. And of course, Jacob Battaglia going to be joining us. He's the 2024 Calgary Flames pick. We're going to be interviewing him at the show at the Caesar Company. Afterwards, you can go to the front store, or you can check out the link in the description, whether you're listening or watching this, to buy your tickets. We're really excited.
And also, I'm going to be in Ottawa 2 months ago. Did you see what I did in the LFR video?
No, I didn't.
I said, yeah, I'm going to be in Ottawa October 7th.
Oh, that's great. Good for you, man.
Because I'm a stupid
happy.
idiot.
Hope that went well.
It didn't. I wasn't there.
So the question...
No, but explain you're going to actually be in
Oh,
Ottawa.
I'm going to actually be in Ottawa this...
Instead of just
Saturday.
doing the bit, you should actually explain that you're going to be in Ottawa tomorrow, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, that is tomorrow. I got to drive to Ottawa tomorrow.
Are you? I thought you were flying.
No.
No? Oh, okay.
I mean, no. It's too late. No.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm gonna drive to Ottawa, hopefully get lunch with Julian McKenzie, go to the signing, then go to my buddy's place in Kempville, and then from there drive to Kingston.
Okay.
Because
So
if I flew to Ottawa, how would I get to Kingston?
oh, you're leaving from Ottawa to our event.
Oh, I'm certainly not driving all the way freaking home.
I didn't know the details of your travel.
Oh,
to
no.
be honest. So
No.
I thought you were flying, then flying back, and all this stuff.
Communication's not my strong suit.
Yeah.
That means you won't be doing the stream on Saturday.
Yeah, that means some other schmuck's got to do it.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Right, the guy with the good-looking glasses.
Well, they're Steve's glasses.
They're Steve's glasses.
Maybe I'll wear them. So it'll
Should.
be you. I'm sorry to disappoint everybody. Everybody out there who's looking forward to how you hang out with Steve, you got to hang out with me. So stream tomorrow for the play Caps tonight. Who's tomorrow? Penguins.
Oh, the
Road
Dubas game.
Yeah, the Dubas game.
I like it. The
It should be
second
good
Dubas
because
game.
Penguins are not good. So
Well-
hopefully the Leafs can take care of business.
Here's what the Leafs need to not do is allow people to potentially get right against them.
Yep.
Looked a little scary there against Nashville for a second, but we'll talk about that a little later in the show. I want to start now with something that will be completely solved by the time this episode comes out. And this is the hilarious part of this episode is because we're recording this a little bit early this morning. And as we are rolling into work, it comes out. Arthur Staples, the first one, to report that Jake Trouba is not going to be in the lineup for roster management reasons. Now, usually roster management is a trade deadline term. That means we're keeping him out so he doesn't get hurt so we can move him. And we don't know who's going to hit waivers until 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is roughly 4 hours from right now. But there is a lot of speculation right now. What we can tell you is this. There is a lot of people who think, hey, to get around his no trade clause, you just waive him, which is entirely possible. And the Rangers did this with Barclay Goodrow earlier this year.
Chris Drury doesn't give a shit.
But then there's a lot of people who think this player is going to get traded. And we've heard Buffalo is interested. Aaron Portzline also just reported that Columbus is in on Trouba. These are all markets that he doesn't want to go to. But, the thing is that he was offered a trade to Detroit over the summer, which is close to where he grew up. And he said no. And I don't believe Detroit are in now. And I think the New York Rangers are telling you.
Why wouldn't they be?
Well, I don't know.
They're not good either.
Well, yeah, but what are they going to offer? I don't. My understanding is that they're not in. And I think that the Rangers played a little mean this summer, but they're about to play a lot mean now.
Yeah, there's a tweet from Pierre LeBrun which provides a lot of context on the no move clause. He says, hearing the Rangers have multiple deals on the table involving Trouba. So there are multiple deals out there. But all they need is his consent to waive his modified no trade. The sense is Trouba was going to sleep on it last night and perhaps decide today. As Staples alludes to here, there's a potential threat of waivers at play here if Trouba doesn't waive for one of these trades. Stay tuned. So it seems like from Pierre LeBrun's reporting that they had some sort of trade yesterday. Trouba was presented with it, but it's on his no trade list, and they are playing the hardest of hardballs and said, you're going on waivers today, which they have executed now, according to CJ, and that if he doesn't pick one of these destinations and waive to go there, then he could just be claimed by anybody.
It sure seems like select a trade here or you're going here.
Right. Via waivers.
Via waivers, and you have no damn choice.
Yeah.
The league should have never let Vegas win. They messed up. They messed up in 2023. They should have never let the Vegas Golden Knights win. These players did not understand they were playing for their lives. Nothing matters anymore. Teams are cutthroat, bloodthirsty, and they will do whatever it takes to win. I'm not even criticizing Chris Drury. I was about to say getting rid of Barclay Goodrow is a decision to make the team better. It has not gotten better. But he wanted to get out from under that deal. Screw it. I'm sending you to the Sharks. Trouba wants to get out from under the deal. Dude says no. Now he's basically holding a contractual gun to his head and saying, accept this trade or you're going, listen, buddy, you're going somewhere. You might as well have some say in it.
Yeah, Jacob Trouba has played his last game for the New York Rangers. He's going to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
It hasn't seemed. It's done.
He's done.
He's on waivers.
Peter Baugh tweeted this. So most recent Rangers captains. Jacob Trouba, time with the team seemingly done. 1.5 years left on his deal. Ryan McDonough, traded. Ryan Callahan, traded. Chris Drury, bought out to end his career. And isn't it funny how Chris Drury is completing the circle today?
Damn.
And I think Arpon Basu, friend of the show, in front of the network, tweeted, why would a free agent want to sign, seeing what Barclay Goodrow and Jake Trouba now are having to go through with these modified no trade clauses that they put in? The reality of the situation is, and I understand Arpon saying that, we said that about Vegas, and you bringing that up, Steve, it's like, how could they do this to Marc-Andre Fleury and Nate Schmidt and who else did they boot out of town?
They won.
They won each and every time they won.
Patches.
And so, Patches for sure. The reality is that to win, sometimes you need to be ruthless. Now, in New York's case, it's very different from Vegas's case. From people that I've talked to, it is chaotic at the top in New York, and
our owner's nuts. Can we just?
And there's only so much
let's just call it what it is.
Only so much a management group can do to manage against that.
Yeah.
And so I think in this particular instance, you're seeing a new version of the New York Rangers because I think Chris Drury's under the gun here. It's you better get this done. This, Jesse, in the season previews, I remember you saying this feels like a last dance situation.
Yeah, because their cap situation isn't pretty going forward because they have a bunch of guys coming off the books, a bunch of old expensive contracts, and then a bunch of young guys they have to sign. And amongst that, one of the biggest anchors they have is Jake Trouba, and it's $8 million to be a third pair defenseman who's not very good right now.
Now to answer why would anyone sign in New York? Because they're a cap team and the cap is going up.
Yeah, also, if you play well, you'll be fine.
Yeah, guys are still going to go there.
If Jacob Trouba was worth $8 million right now, he would be playing for the New York Rangers.
Well, and this is the only reason, the reason this situation is so spicy is because teams want him, right? So you might be like, well, I don't want him on my team. Listening to this, it's by the sounds of it, multiple NHL GMs who want this guy at $8 million.
Mm-hmm. But to them, he's not worth that dollar amount.
No, I would guess that any deal would, any trade would involve salary retention. Mm-hmm. But I mean, if there's the threat of waivers, there's no salary retention through waivers.
Somebody just takes all the money.
Just takes.
I would also think that they would have to retain here, but there's 32 GMs and not all of them are that bright.
It all depends, guys, on what you want to get back. right? Do you want to get an asset back, or is the asset the cap space that you get rid of? And I can see Jake Trouba, and listen, this could go out the other way, but Jake Trouba, by the advanced numbers, has been playing as about a third pair defenseman for the last 2 to 3 years. And $8 million off your cap is an asset. So if you get traded for future considerations or you get waived and claimed, one is essentially the same as the other, but the Rangers end up with this. So do they want an asset back? I'm not convinced of that.
Not in this trade necessarily, but I have a hard time believing the Rangers are just going to sit there.
Well, and so I agree with you there. But again, the $8 million allows you to not just sit there.
Right.
And, one of the things that I think has brought up, Micah McCurdy said that I'm getting my numbers from him, but a few Rangers posters have kind of pointed out that Jake Trouba was not a shutdown defenseman in Winnipeg and was not a shutdown defenseman when he showed up in New York. And that's the role he's been asked to play. And he has played hurt a lot as well. So maybe that's hurt his career. But you have to wonder, is the acquiring team hoping that he is a shutdown defenseman, or is he more what we saw in Winnipeg, which is more of an offense guy?
He could shoot. Yeah, he could shoot. He can move the puck. And I mean, you look at some of the guys the Rangers have, I'd rather them move the puck. It's nothing against him necessarily, but Adam Fox is pretty good at hockey. I mean, Buffalo's a fascinating one.
Why do they need another big defenseman, man? They just got a
good
group
for
of
you.
But that's what New York had a bunch of great defensemen who could move the puck. And I look at the same thing with Columbus too. If Columbus is really in on this, CJ said it on the show yesterday. My fantasy team thanks him. Zach Werenski is a outside Norris candidate right now. Why do you need a guy, if he's going to play a different role? Why do you need a Jake Trouba? Is he your secondary puck moving guy?
Sure, why not?
Well, could that not have been somebody else?
I don't think anyone acquiring him is getting him to play on the first pair.
Certainly not.
God, the timing is driving me nuts because Buffalo has a press conference at 11:30. It is scheduled, but I'd be fascinated. Like I would immediately start going nuts as a Rangers fan or a Sabres fan if that press conference got moved.
Oh, yeah.
The second it gets moved, I'm like, whoa, what are you up to?
Worth mentioning, by the way, Kevin Adams hasn't spoken to the Buffalo media since September.
Seems bad.
Well, especially with the team being iffy.
That makes sense. GMs don't usually just do media avails all the time.
Well,
it should raise your eyebrows that he's doing it now. You should be like, oh, that means you guys actually suck, and there's
Actually a pretty good.
like Brad's not just talking to us all the time. A couple of times during practice, he's like randomly popped up and that sort of stuff, but they don't usually talk.
You got to pay attention to how things are framed.
Yeah.
Because the Buffalo reporters were like, this is the first time he's talked since September. And you read that and you go, oh. And then you think about it as a fan and you go, wait, that's actually not that abnormal.
Wait, that was training camp.
Like, wait
that's when he was supposed to talk.
Yeah, no, totally. Like, Brad Treliving, for example, was on Amazon Prime the other night. And I went, oh. And that was it.
Yeah, but that's not even like media avail. That's him doing a thing on Amazon to eat a hot dog.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like,
in that fucking Scotia bag.
What a dream.
Yeah, good life.
I
wonder if he compared it to the Boston Pizza hot dogs.
Couldn't have been as good.
Yeah, and he's like, this isn't as good. I'll go home and make my own hot dog.
Yeah.
Home is a Boston Pizza.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
He just lives there in the back, in the kitchen.
Adam's doing something else. I'm just trying to wait for
I'm pulling
for him to finish whatever he's doing.
I do appreciate that because Mark Shegg, who is a Columbus Blue Jackets reporter who we DM often. He's a really nice guy. It says that obviously the waivers are currently set at the inverse order of standings. Yeah. And it's interesting because last night Luke Richardson was fired as the Chicago Blackhawks head coach, and I've got some stuff to do there. So let's not do the Blackhawks angle yet.
Okay,
but I'm looking at the first three teams that are going to have a shot at this guy. Blackhawks. That makes some sense.
Sure. Who do they got on the right side? Seth Jones. Man, that's Seth Jones, Jacob Trouba, right side. Okay, continue.
Right. That makes a little bit of sense. And then the next one is Nashville which to me, I don't know if they have the space to claim him.
They need to do something.
Yeah.
For the love of God.
Yeah, but do you think that bringing in yet another veteran who isn't a center, like Tommy Novak, people were giving you shit about your Tommy Novak take. He was scratched last night.
Was he really?
He was scratched. He had 4 points in 20 games.
Yeah, but then I also took it back.
Yeah, well.
It's fine.
Yeah, the reality is he's not playing well. That's the end of the story.
Yeah, he's a guy who it was reasonable to bet on him. It hasn't worked out.
Yeah.
You lose back-to-back nights and end it with a 3-0 loss in Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
Something's got to give. So, like that. Oh man, if we don't turn it around by Christmas, you can't wait till Christmas.
Seth Jones is on the IR. So the Chicago right side is Connor Murphy, Alec Martinez, and TJ Brody.
And Alec Martinez got caved the other night. Really, I mean, it's the Blackhawks, but still, he struggled a bit.
So you got Nashville, and then you've got the Anaheim Ducks.
Nashville and the Anaheim.
And the Ducks are a team with an internal cap when they're non-competitive.
Yeah.
And so it's a question of, do they want to spend, and I don't know what Trouba's contract is structured like either. If he's one of those guys with a ton of bonuses up front, that could make a lot of sense for a team like the Ducks, but I don't think that's the way the deal was done, and I'm going to have a look at it right now.
I don't like bringing up a player's family, but with regard to Jacob Trouba, it's very relevant, unfortunately. So his wife's it's a doctor, right?
Yeah.
I don't know the American healthcare system well enough. Like, does it vary? Do you need a different license from state to state? Like, do you need a different license from province to province?
I think
Canada?
No, but I think you have to be certified, but it's not. You have to be, educated within probably North America, and you have to go through a certification. But I would tell you that the reason you want to be a doctor in the States sometimes over being a doctor in Canada is you make a lot more money.
Well, there's
and so I would imagine the monetary version and the fact that Jake Trouba is an American would have something to do with that.
The reason I ask is Buffalo being in obviously the same state as the Rangers. Would that make it a desired destination? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't see why not.
Family
now I will.
Situation matters.
Let me tell you this. So Jake Trouba had bonuses through the first 3 years of this contract, and I think this is where the Rangers kind of screwed up because if you're gonna be a rich team, act like a rich team. Now I know that the Rangers are owned by James Dolan, and that has its whole can of worms associated. Believe me, we're the market that had Harold Ballard for 40 years. But when you look at the way the Rangers structured his deal, the first year of his deal in 1920, his base salary was $4 million. His signing bonus was $8 million. And that continued into the next year. And then the year after that, his signing bonus was $6 million. And so the real dollars that any team is going to have to pay out, and you have to take this into consideration when you look at the Ducks, is $6 million. If the Rangers had been smart about this...
No bonus, though.
No bonus. But if the Rangers had been smart about this, in the case of a guy like, say, for the Leafs example, John Tavares, most of his contract has already been paid out. Mitch Marner, most of his contract's already been paid out and was paid out several years ago.
With Tavares, he's basically playing for free.
Yeah, he's making making $700,000 a year to play hockey now. And so what the Rangers didn't do was that. If Trouba was at $3 or $4 million in real dollars,
right,
there'd be a lot of teams who were like, you know what, I'd pay an asset for that.
But Jacob Trouba has a no trade,
15 team modified, and
right,
and he had a no move the first 3 or 4 years of the deal.
Right. So for him, the incentive would be no. I don't want signing bonuses back half of the deal. That makes me easier to trade. I don't want to be traded.
Mm-hmm.
This player doesn't want to be traded. And this is why, when it comes to the Leafs, because they're my team, I want players to take discounts because it makes it easier for my team to do business and win. That is my logic as a fan. Okay? It's not complicated. As a human being, these players should never, ever, ever give any of these teams an inch. Ever. If I was Jacob Trouba, I would have stayed up all night just cursing every dollar I left on the table for that clause.
Yeah. Just take the dollar.
Take the dollar. Take the dollar. Fuck them.
Frege tweeted that the Rangers do have several options, but Trouba can block with his partial no trade. So all of the options that the Rangers probably have are all on his no trade list. He said this is absolute hardball, but there is precedent. In November 2005, Todd Marchant refused to waive his no trade from Columbus to Anaheim as a part of the Sergei Fedorov deal. So the Blue Jackets waived him, and the Ducks made the claim to complete the transaction. And and this can happen because you don't even have to worry really about waiver order in this situation, because you can wait to see if he makes it to whatever team really wants him anyway.
Yeah.
And then, if it does, then we'll complete the trade. And if it doesn't, then we lost him for nothing.
It's so dry, dude.
I think the NHL is moving in this direction. You saw a team that has had varying degrees of success, but a Stanley Cup, be as ruthless as possible and be successful with it. I think the Rangers are taking a page out of the Vegas Golden Knights book. You can't, and I think that they're like, listen, New York's a fun, amazing place to play. We're never going to have trouble attracting free agents. Never. So let's be ruthless. And I'll say this too, guys. Listen, you can be mad at Chris Drury, and you guys can tell me what you think about this, but you can be mad at Chris Drury for this, and I get it. But on the other hand, if things were bad like this in Toronto, I know they'd have Treliving in front of a microphone saying it's the media's fault. Stop putting so much pressure on the players, or what Kyle Dubas did. No, actually, Cody Cece's numbers are great.
I don't understand the referendum.
I don't understand the referendum. So I would prefer the Rangers' view, which is this sucks and we're going to do something about it, for better or for worse, rather than actually you guys don't know shit and Cody Cece's awesome. It's I would much prefer that.
The dichotomy of Cody. See, he's doing great on the Oilers. Wait, why are they loading him into a cannon? Wait, why is it pointed at San Jose? Cody!
Why are they scratching him during the Stanley Cup Finals?
Yeah, well,
for Phil Broberg, who they won't pay money to. Anyway, it's going to be fascinating to sort of watch this unfold. And I may interject at some point when we move on to say, hey, Trouba's been traded. Also, guys, do you see? So we did Ducks. Could the Montreal Canadiens or Ottawa Senators make sense, because they're 4 and 5 in the waiver order?
I mean, from a hockey and need standpoint, yeah, they make sense. Ottawa in particular, I've been banging that drum, but again, the family aspect of it all.
Doesn't want to go to Canada.
Doesn't want to go to Canada, and I don't think it's because he doesn't like Canada. It's because his life is in the United States.
Wow.
That's it.
Might want to take that trade to Buffalo or Columbus then, my friend, because they're like 12th in the order here.
This is what I assume is hanging over his head right now.
Wow. Tough game.
Okay,
so we'll go a little deeper on that later as things come out. BetMGM is an official sports betting partner of the National Hockey League and has your back all season long. Now, last year, if you were a Leafs fan, or any year since Mike Babcock, you wouldn't have bet the Leafs to win back-to-back games, because the second game was like, but we're tired, bro.
We're tired and our goalie's bad.
Yeah, but this year,
they're good. Their goalie's good.
They got 2 good goalies.
So maybe you want to check that out. Maybe check the odds out. BetMGM.com/dangle for all your sports betting needs. And let me tell you, BetMGM is a sports book worth a selling. Official sports betting partner of the National Hockey League. BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 19 years of age or older to wager. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you have any questions or concerns about your gambling or someone close to you, please contact Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with iGaming Ontario.
The Leafs are favorite to win the Atlantic Division on BetMGM.
Oh, I like them even more. I do want to mention, too, we mentioned the Chicago Blackhawks. Luke Richardson has been fired. And, this comes on the heels of a game that I saw beginning of the week. Toronto Maple Leafs, one of Luke Richardson's last games as a coach. Who knew? And I thought it was really interesting, Mark Lazarus' take on this, guys, and I wanted to hear what you thought, because I thought he just was blistering about the state of the Chicago Blackhawks right now. And this is midway through the article, and he says, the Blackhawks are unwatchable. And we don't mean boring. though the Bedard novelty is wearing off and the roster is loaded with stopgap veterans who are essentially just passing through merely laundry for fans to root for. No, the Blackhawks are literally unwatchable for a huge swath of their fans. For subscribers, the two biggest television providers, Comcast and YouTube TV, the hoops you have to jump through in order to watch this team is laughable. You must purchase a set of rabbit ears, and then he puts in brackets, rabbit ears in 2014. You must have a room with a window that faces downtown Chicago.
Yeah, not 2014.
Oh, sorry, 2024. Sorry, it's October 7th. You must have a room with a window that faces downtown Chicago. You must have the rabbit ears high on your window somewhere, or you must have a night where it's not too windy or too rainy or too cold or too clear. Who knows? There's a good chance on any given night that you're going to be looking at something that looks that closely resembles scrambled HBO from the 1980s more than a high-definition hockey game. Your other legal option is to pay $20 a month to watch the games on your phone or laptop, but just the Blackhawks. If you want the Bulls or the White Sox, those high-flying can't-miss squads, the White Sox are terrible, you'll need to pony up $30 a month. It's gobsmacking.
No, keep going.
By the way, they're calling him dollar. They're calling them dollar. There are dollar Bill Wirtz references going in. Remember, Bill Wirtz didn't like running games on local television because he thought you wouldn't buy tickets. And interesting. Another part of this article that I thought was just fire. Is it Luke Richardson's fault that Tyler Bertuzzi has only 2 even strength goals in 26 games, or that Teuvo Teravainen does too?
First time.
Is it Richardson's fault that the Blackhawks have been outscored 14-6 with TJ Brody on the ice? We could have warned you.
First time.
Philip Kurashev has fallen into a well.
I guess they don't get Leafs games in Chicago either, eh?
Apparently not. Okay. It's $20 to watch just Blackhawks game. Kurashev has fallen into a well, outscored 18-3 on 5-on-5. And then here's another one. He said maybe it's when Davidson tanked so nakedly he dealt away Alex DeBrincat and let Dylan Strome walk 2 summers ago. Maybe it was that he didn't even offer franchise icons Kane and Taze the chance to re-sign and usher in the new generation of Blackhawks, a ruthless decision that left many fans cold. And maybe it was the Blackhawks disappeared from most fans' televisions at the start of the season in the Chicago Sports Network debacle, conjuring up many references to, and I said this already, dollar Bill Wirtz. Anyway, not good in Chicago. And here's what I want to ask. I want to ask the panel. Here's the quiz. All right, guys?
I like the quiz.
I like the quiz a lot, too.
I like it, too.
Here's the quiz. Sorry, Duthie, I'm stealing your bit. What is the real issue here? Because for me, Davidson's just fired his last bullet. You are the architect of your own disaster here. You have now fired this coach. You fired the previous one as well. But he was your guy. Luke Richardson was your guy. What do you expect the next coach to really be able to come in and do here? And is he next?
So it's a good question. I want to turn to Jesse, though.
Okay.
Because during our season previews,
Yeah.
and I promise I'm not doing this to Duncan.
No.
Yeah, during our season
Say what you
previews,
want to say.
Did you? Where did you have the Blackhawks in the Central? Do you remember?
I think the 4th at least. Yeah.
You had them making the playoffs,
Yeah.
and that was like your hot take.
Yeah. I thought their ceiling was second wild card.
Right.
I thought they had the chances, so I went with the highest possible ceiling that I thought they could hit, which was the second wild card, if everything went perfectly.
And Adam and I didn't have them that high, but we agreed like, well, no, like I expect them to take a step forward.
Yeah.
And then by the end of you talking about them, I'm like, geez, I didn't put the Blackhawks high enough. And that conversation, just remembering that conversation, sort of made me not want to go down the path of, well, it's the Blackhawks. What did you expect? No. We expected them to be better than this. Each and every individual has underachieved. So I guess the question I'm posing to you, Jesse, is what has gone wrong? And given that we thought they would be better than this, don't all fingers point at the coaching.
Yeah, no, I think for sure there's a lot of coaching issues when you can't get the best out of Connor Bedard. And at this point in their rebuild, they still shouldn't be going backwards because they did the great thing, which is you're supposed to tank so hard that one year you get extremely lucky and you get the big fish. It's why Buffalo was so upset that they lost the McEichel draft and they lost the Austin Matthews draft. It's like they stunk for so long and we're like, we're supposed to get one of these guys and we got stuck with fucking Jack Eichel.
And by the way, picked second both drafts and fumbled both of them.
Yeah. They bungled. They bungled Jack Eichel.
No, yeah, they bungled Eichel. No, I'm thinking of Reinhardt from the draft before.
Yeah.
They picked second overall 2 years in a row. Fumbled both of them.
Mm-hmm. And that's why when the Blackhawks tank and you get Bedard and you're like, okay, last year's your first season with Bedard, obviously you're going to keep tanking. But this year was supposed to be the step forward year. So this offseason, Kyle Davidson goes out and he makes all these moves for all of these vet pieces. And I look at the vet pieces and I'm like, okay, reasonable people. You know, you've brought in a bunch of guys who might be able to do some stuff. Now that you see them on the ice, there's obviously a giant lack of scoring, and that you have some guys who are like on the power play units that shouldn't be on any power play units in the entire NHL.
Shouldn't be on the team.
But the sum of the parts where you said we're not just going to have a bunch of children out there in AHLers, we're going to bring in real NHLs and spend some money this offseason, should have resulted in something better here than just an anemic team who is a pathetic on ice NHL team who shouldn't be out there. And so it's on both. It's on both the head coach for not getting the most out of these guys when your GM did give you something to play with, and it's also on the GM for bad talent evaluation and bringing in these vets that I thought, hey, if Kyle Davidson is actually going for something here, there might be something there, but it's all the wrong personnel top to bottom.
The new guys are underachieving. The old guys, which Bedard falls under hilariously, are also underachieving. No one's doing well. Like, are they getting unusable goaltending? They're probably not
from
getting
Mrazek
and Soderblom. Like,
I thought Mrazek has like league average potential in him.
Yeah,
you know, like I could see that.
And Brossoit's been hurt, so there was another one of their free agent signings, and like, who knows? Brossoit could have been. The conversation was, who do you get first, Brossoit or Stollers?
Yes, this offseason. Yeah.
Stollers has been, honest to God, one of the best goalies in the league so far this season.
Mm-hmm. And they paid almost $1 million more for Brossoit.
Well, and I'm not criticizing that move. I'm saying, like, maybe if that move doesn't if he doesn't get hurt, maybe all is solved.
Yeah.
But I don't think.
And Brossoit was injured in late August, and he hasn't played hockey.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you don't bank on that when you sign a free agent for that amount of money. And Peter Mrazek has been okay considering the team in front of him. He has a .905 save percentage,
which is above league.
That's amazing.
Which is good.
I want to throw this out there, guys. That I'm looking at their Puckpedia page, and this is just a rough estimate, but there's about $40 million in new players per year that have been brought in over the last 2 years. I'm not talking about their full contract value. I'm talking about their per year, per annum deals.
Okay.
You're talking about Taylor Hall, Tyler Bertuzzi, Teuvo Teravainen, Nick Foligno, Jason Dickinson, Ilya Mikheyev, Donato, I believe. He was not a draft pick there, was he?
No, he wasn't. He's a signing.
I'm not going to count Seth Jones because he was a Bowman guy. Alec Martinez, TJ Brody, and of course Laurent Brossoit. It works out to be about $40 million. So this is John Davidson's team.
None of those guys are pillars.
Kyle
Davidson's team. John Davidson's team is the Blue Jackets.
Yes. None of those guys are pillars. Like Taylor Hall, those days are in the past.
Yep.
Who else did you name? Like Nick Foligno is veteran, show the kids the ropes guy.
Yeah, Tyler Bertuzzi, ancillary piece. He's like a Robin.
He's very good complimentary piece.
Yep. Teuvo Teravainen,
very good complimentary piece.
Jason Dickinson,
good complimentary piece.
Ilya Mikheyev,
complimentary piece.
Kurashev,
decent complimentary piece.
Okay. Pat Maroon.
Are we going through the whole lineup?
Like,
but I'm just talking about players that he's brought in, right? Like, it's
fourth line veteran.
Martinez, Brody.
Martina, I was surprised signed there, to be honest. And Brody,
Well, because they paid him the same that he got paid in Vegas. He got $4 million.
Yeah, Alec Martinez also hasn't been good this season. It's been bad.
No,
yeah, and
They've all been
37.
bad. They've all been bad.
Brody
And-
might just be cooked.
And I think
he
Brody's been bad. Like they've all been bad. And what I think this comes back to is like I was high on the Blackhawks. I thought they could have reached some potential, but you look at the roster and it's not good. And you look at the general manager now, Kyle Davidson, who was the assistant general manager to Stan Bowman for many years before he was appointed to be GM. Stan Bowman steps down. He gets the intern tag removed. He gets to be full-fledged GM. And one thing we talk about with Stan Bowman's end of legacy in Chicago, obviously the scandal and all that stuff, but Stan Bowman wasn't a great GM. His years post-Cup and many of the years in
and he
between
didn't
the
draft any of the great players that he ended up
and
having.
Now I look at Stan Bowman's tenure and I'm like, okay. After the Cup stuff, he wasn't great. And then this is the era point. And what is the phrase?
Heir apparent?
Heir
Heir apparent. Sorry, to Stan Bowman. Maybe Kyle Davidson learned from a guy who wasn't very good at his job. Maybe Kyle Davidson's just not good at being a GM. This is his first kick at the can, and he learned from a guy who struggled towards the end of his GMing, and then now he gets the job, and he's not very good. I don't think Kyle Davidson's very good at his job.
So look at this.
Yeah.
Kane, Taze, Keith Seabrook, Corey Crawford. Man, I'll even put Antti Niemi in there because he won the first Cup with them as their starter. And then who was the other guy that Chalmerson? None of those guys were Bowman draft picks.
Damn.
None of those guys. Jesse's right. Like none of those guys. They were all there. So he got a loaded Lamborghini, like engine running, and then
Like,
just pressed the gas. And good for him.
greatest-
They won
Like a top 2 core
of all time.
of the last. Like,
and on crazy. Now I'll give him credit. The Duncan Keith deal worked out pretty well.
And two of those contracts, the Duncan Keith deal was illegal for more years than it wasn't.
That's right. And then
So was Marian Hosta.
and as soon as the Taze and Kane deals kicked in, they stopped winning.
Yep.
Right? And Leafs fans can relate to that. You couldn't add to the depth the way you wanted to.
So, like, okay, we're evaluating it. Here's what it is. Are you guys familiar with the much criticized but highly underrated video game Halo Reach?
I am familiar with it, yeah.
No.
The rest of this season is Chicago Blackhawks Halo Reach.
Explain the context for those like Jesse who did not play.
Reach is a planet that the Covenant, the alien scum of the universe, invade. It is a human-populated planet that the Covenant invade, and the Spartans, the human super soldiers, do their best to fight them off in a losing battle. At the end of the game, a spaceship takes off and leaves Reach with Master Chief on board in cryostasis. Master Chief, who would go on in the later Halo video games to defeat the Covenant and the Flood and save humanity and the universe. Connor Bedard is Master Chief. And he's having a horrible time. And he's alone. Alone. They have other guys, Kevin Kurchinski, Frank Nazer, like they have other young guys who aren't necessarily on the roster yet, who are gonna join him in the fight down the line. But that roster is Connor Bedard and a bunch of dudes who will have their jersey for 75% off at some point within the next 12 months. You have to save this kid. The rest of the season is Connor, can I get you anything? Connor, here, I'm going to hand you a sticky note, and as many players as you can fit on that sticky note, I am going to try to go out and trade for those guys. Who are your best friends? Who did you like watching growing up? Who are you? Anything you need or want, Connor. The rest of the season is Chicago.
Here's
Blackhawks,
the problem, though.
Halo
The
Reach.
veterans that they signed, Steve, they signed to too much money because nobody wanted to sign there. Why is Taylor Hall at 6? Why was Nick Foligno at 4? You know, that
Foligno at 4, I'll defend.
I will not.
Listen,
You cannot. You cannot defend that.
You didn't sign him to be unreal.
Well, then
signed him. No, he's your leader. You staple him to Connor Bedard. They seem to have a good relationship, and I'll change my mind the moment that
Steve,
appears to not be the case.
Nick Foligno had 26 points in 60 games for the Bruins 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's too much. It's way too much. But it served an obvious purpose. Whereas the next year, all the contracts they signed appeared to be, we're going to sign these guys because they're going to make our team better.
Might I remind you, too, that Corey Perry, due to some financial finagling, is out of his contract there, but he was also signed for $4 million when he was making league min the year before. Guys, like, what are we talking about here?
No, I know. And
so it makes
the term
those
on these
veterans,
guys is
yeah,
bad.
so let's say Connor Bedard puts together that list. What are you going to trade? They've got a deep prospect pool.
Damn.
But what are you going to trade? Oh, a bunch of overpriced veterans? That's exactly what teams don't want.
Damn.
Unless you're holding back salary. I'm sure teams would take Taylor Hall at $3 million.
How many? So here, let's go through those guys. How many years do they all have left?
Well, so you've got, and I'll go real quick.
Just got there.
Hall's got this year. Bertuzzi's got 3 more after this year. Teravainen 2 more after this year. Foligno has another after this year. He's 4.5, by the way. Dickinson has another one after this year. Mikheyev, that's not Davidson's deal. That's a Vancouver deal. Another one after this year, and then and then the rest of them are on 1 year. And then obviously Seth Jones, again, long-term deal. That was Bowman. Vlasic's got. I don't think they mind the Vlasic deal.
No, he's a kid.
Connor Murphy's got 2 more this year and next. Martinez has got 4. The one that's bad though is TJ Brody. It's this year and next at 3.75. And honestly, like we saw TJ Brody last year, it just wasn't there anymore.
The term's not unfixable, but damn.
Yeah. So
what a mess.
One last thing I just want to say.
Yeah.
How, because you start off talking about the Blackhawks and how of a mess of an organization they are, and you go back to the TV situation that's happening there.
Yeah.
And the Kyle Davidson situation here, and him really not being great GM during his tenure here, and Stan Bowman and his legacy there, it all kind of goes back to ownership. Because you look at the Wirtz family, and there was Arthur Wirtz who bought the team in the 50s, and then it goes down to Bill, and then who's Rocky, and then now Danny has
Rocky
it. Four generations of sons own this team.
Yep.
And then you look at Kyle Davidson and how he came into that job as general manager. He started out working in sales for the Wolves.
No way.
Like he's ground up from this organization. And if you work your way up from the AHL sales staff to eventually you get a position in hockey ops, then eventually you get assistant general manager with the championship winning team, and eventually get GM, he's also just a product of this family. And you look at the history of the Wirtz family, and they have had a terrible history in Chicago as an organization and as a team. They've treated their fans so poorly over the more than 70 years.
100 years. They've owned it for around 100 years.
Owned this franchise. I believe it was 1950 when Arthur first bought it. So not quite 100 yet, but they'll probably get there because this family has run this team forever, and they have a history of being a bad sports owner and treating their fans poorly. So you look at Kyle Davidson and how he got this job. He's a product of all of that. So we shouldn't be surprised now that he is embodying this ownership in the way he's running this team into the ground when you have a great generational superstar and you can't find a way to win.
Mm-hmm.
That is a really interesting big picture look at the Chicago Blackhawks.
That's a great point.
Because they were not good the majority of my childhood. They made a cup final when I was like a baby. Then they did nothing until Kane and Taves showed up. Then it was like unprecedented success.
And their fans couldn't even see them do nothing.
I know.
On television.
I know.
Yeah.
It was probably for the best. Then it was unprecedented success for nearly a decade.
Ass backwards, you fall into it.
And just, nothing since. That's such an interesting way of looking
when
at
the
it.
Wirtz family had the opportunity to make a giant turn with the franchise, Kane and Taves are leaving, Stan Bowman's done. We have to do some sort of pivot here. They decided to go with a man that they've known since he was a child, since he was an intern.
Because he's only 36 now.
He was an intern with this organization. That he grew up with that family, and they just hired one of their own. And their own have only shown that they cannot run this franchise.
That's not terribly unlike what it reminds me of is the Buffalo Sabres with Kevin Adams. Because like his name started getting rumored, and I'm like, okay, sorry, where did this come from? And it's like, oh, the Pagulas know him.
Yeah, apparently.
I'm like, okay, but what else?
Apparently
like, no, they just know him.
Yeah.
They just know him.
Yeah. And we see it happen in hockey all of the time, and I think we got another here. The best thing for the Blackhawks organization would be to hire a president who has nothing to do with the Blackhawks and bring them in to run the team, but they would never do that.
Do you have control over them then? Because that's what this all comes down to.
That's what the Wirtz family wants.
Absolutely.
And they know they have control over the people that are there now, and the people there now aren't good at running hockey ops.
Yeah.
They're going to fire Kyle Davidson and bring in Dale Talon.
It's worth bringing.
The world will burn.
Ben Pope, who is a reporter for the Sun-Times in Chicago, is following the Kyle Davidson press conference. It's happening right now. It's happening literally as we talk.
When did this become the spiciest day on the schedule?
I know, it's crazy.
All of a sudden.
Everybody's chatting today. Kyle Davidson, the reasons things went sideways for us were likely fixable. This is what he says. He says the games were usually close, but the losses were caused by, quote, habitual things that he believes can be cleaned up with different coaching.
Oh, you're the Raptors.
Davidson.
We're right there.
You have to be realistic with what you're expecting and what you demand of a group, but I don't believe this is a last place group. Hey, I agree with him there. I don't think they're a last place group.
There is some evidence to. I mean, we're carving them badly right now. There is some evidence to suggest coaching could turn this around.
Davidson said that he only began considering firing Richardson recently. I'll tell you, Blackhawks fans have been considering firing him since the start of the year.
I just don't.
They have. I've just been watching Blackhawks Twitter. They're ready for him to go. He said he had hoped wins over Florida and Dallas would spark a turnaround, but when he made the decision, it was decisive and he didn't want to drag it out. Davidson said he wants to give the team a few games to settle things down before considering any call-ups. So they're just going to bring in new person, which is Sorensen, and I believe he's the interim coach because the Blackhawks media, especially on The Athletic, we're talking about who could be the next coach. Jay Woodcroft's name's out there. Bruce Boudreau's name's out there. There are other names. There is another guy.
Nah.
There's another guy.
Zero shot they opened that door.
I know.
Oh,
just
no way.
It's not zero.
It's not
No,
zero.
you're right.
not
It's definitely
zero.
not zero.
Zero is too low.
Yep.
2?
The two's a chance.
Oh my god.
Yep.
I 100% guarantee you somebody asked the question. It came up.
Oh, I'm sure it did. Yeah. It's like
there's no way it didn't.
Lindy Ruff in Buffalo. You know, like let's get the gang back together.
There's old guy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah. No, I don't think the Blackhawks would actually do that. I think they're pretty careful with their PR now. But if they weren't, I'm sure that they would consider it.
You think if old Stanny didn't get hired in Edmonton,
Stanny,
he'd be back in Chicago?
I think if you're Kyle Davidson, you throw the nearest baked good you can find in the conference room at the person who suggests Coach Q. Hey, that's great.
Now,
oh man,
again,
I don't know.
This show is brought to you by BetterHelp. Now, I want to say this. It is that time of year where you have to... What does Dr. Phil always used to say about family? I always thought this was funny.
I don't know.
Dr. Phil used to say, family are a bunch of people that you don't know that well, but you're supposed to love. And in a lot of cases, you think about extended family getting together for the holidays. It's like, yeah, I haven't seen you in 8 months, and what's going on? Anyway, I love you. It's weird,
also,
right?
I have to justify every decision I've made since I last saw you.
Yes, yeah, right? So sometimes...
Isn't Dr. Phil not a doctor anymore?
Well, he's not a doctor anymore. He wouldn't be a guy that you could sign up with on BetterHelp.
He doesn't renew his doctor's license.
Yes.
20 years ago.
But I thought it was an apt quote, Jesse. Okay? And listen, that that feeling that you get sometimes going to a family function, it's a little bit of anxiety.
From Phil?
A little bit of dread.
We can't even call him Dr. Phil anymore.
Just Phil. Just
Phil.
Phil McGraw.
Phil McGraw.
Listen, if you get that feeling, BetterHelp might be able to help you. Might be able to make you feel better and help, like the name. Crazy, right? And the great thing about it with the holidays coming around is that the schedule is extremely flexible. We're talking 24/7. We're talking text. We're talking phone call. We're talking FaceTime. It's up to you, and you get matched with somebody, in most cases, in less than 48 hours.
Can your therapist catch you outside?
How about that?
Can they?
Yeah, potentially.
Is that
I don't. Actually, that's not an option yet, but we'll talk to the BetterHelp people and see.
Okay.
Find your comfort this December with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/STP today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/STP. Getting to the Leafs game, I want to focus on the Nashville side of it to start before we get into the game. Okay.
Sure.
And last night, just for people that don't know, Nashville was shut out by the absolutely garbage Montreal Canadiens, who look a lot better since Patrick Laine joined the league.
Hey, 2 for 2. 2 for 2. Good for him, man.
Yeah, man. Thrilled for him. Thrilled for Canadiens fans. It's given them some life, something to cheer for. And they played a great game. Philip Forsberg, this is Kevin Papetti, who just a banger tweet on this one. Philip Forsberg leads Nashville's forwards with 17 points. Matt Duchene, who accounts for $5.56 million of their cap space and $6.56 next season following a buyout, has 28 points this year. The Predators were shut out by the Canadiens tonight and look horrendous. Now,
Matt Duchene was overrated for so long that he became grossly underrated.
Here's how bad Tommy Novak's been for them. Ryan O'Reilly, according to the team, was injured. And I was Nick Kaiser, who is a reporter and producer for 102.5 The Game, which is the Preds station where Barry Trotz comes on and talks and that sort of thing. Okay. I asked him, I said, listen, was Ryan O'Reilly hurt or scratched? And he said the team said he got hurt. He played a little less than usual in Toronto. When they get back, I'm sure we'll hear more. For Tommy Novak to still be scratched while Ryan O'Reilly is hurt, and again, I say to you, Ryan O'Reilly has not missed a game for over 2 seasons.
Damn. It's not like he plays a timid style either.
I could see him being injured, but can you see a potential scratch where they go, he got injured, but internally he scratched? You can't scratch both centers on the same night, can you?
Wait, are you saying they healthy
I'm asking,
Ryan O'Reilly?
I'm asking the question. They healthy Tommy Novak. Would they healthy Ryan too?
No.
Okay,
shot.
then if they wouldn't do that against a team that's not good like the Montreal Canadiens, and sorry, Canadiens fans, you're exciting. It's nice that the line is back, but you're not good yet.
Lower in the standing.
Lower, not good yet. It's okay to say that. Why is that controversial?
No, yeah, you're right.
You guys
That
are
is
great. Congratulations on your playoff berth. What I'm trying to understand is you've got your number 1 center out.
Yep.
And your number 2 guy, you're scratching him on the same night.
Not even an option. You know what depresses me about that loss to Montreal for Nashville is against the Leafs, I saw a shadow of last year's Preds. Didn't you?
Tell me.
Well, you would know better than I did, but the Preds got the lead. Yeah, it was fluky. Whatever. They had the lead. The majority of the game was played with them having a lead and them just breaking up plays in the neutral zone and right around the blue line and me pulling out my hair.
The Leafs also, to be honest,
did not play great.
The first 2 periods of that game played like they played against Chicago.
Yes.
Like, we don't really feel like this.
I hope they don't...
I don't think they're going to do that tonight in Washington.
Yeah, I hope they don't have a tough couple games here because they've had their foot off the gas. Well, until the third period.
When they brought it on.
Against Nashville. But I saw a ghost of last year's Preds team. And it just disappeared.
So
into thin vapor.
I'm just throwing it out there. Center Philip Tomasino has 3 points, 2 goals in 4 games for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Man.
So you saw a ghost. You saw a ghost of a good thing.
Yes.
What happened, guys? Jesse, you were at the game?
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
The Predators?
For the Predators.
The Leafs Thanos snapped them.
They can't score. It's so simple. All of their issues are solved if they can score. During that Montreal game last night, they had 6 power play opportunities. They were 0 for 6.
Yeah, but
like
they can't score, but the Leafs obliterated them in 5 minutes in the third period. That was it.
Yeah. The Leafs came out hot in that third. They, you reunite Matthews and Marner, and they got a couple goals, and that was all they needed. Because if you can get one past the Predators, you're good. You just sit back and play defense. And the Leafs, if we're talking about Leafs, like they've changed their hockey play like exponentially this season. The way Craig Berube has them play in just this really low event hockey that's very sleepy. And they were able to execute their game plan against Nashville because Nashville's not good on the offensive end. And then you play just kind of boring hockey on the defensive end, and it was great. Like the only time Nashville scored was a weird bounce off the boards.
So weird.
Like it was a knuckler that had backspin. Like you're aiming for the green, and you wanna shoot it a couple feet past the pin, and you spin it back. It was beautiful. But the Leafs just need a couple goals, and they were able to just like get up for that third with Matthews and Marner and score, and that was it. Because Nashville, I don't know if it's a systems issue. I know they changed some of their systems. Like last week-ish, the way they're trying to deploy their offensive talent, they tried to switch things up, but clearly it's not working. It might just be the personnel doesn't know how to mesh as a team and score. Like, I don't know if you bring in a new head coach who tries to get them play another kind of way.
I think Barry Trotz, here's the thing. Imagine Barry Trotz is your boss and you're the coach. How much freedom and flexibility in play style, Jesse, do you think you'd have?
Right. So you think he has influence over how they're playing?
Certainly. I think he wants them to play the style that he likes them to play, which is defense first. And it's been very successful. Like, he was great with Washington. He was great with Nashville before that. And he was great and and he was great with the Islanders as well. I think a couple of third round exits, at least one. Amazing. Great. I think that if you're a coach and you're signing up to work under a coach, one of the better coaches of all time, you should expect that he's going to have something to say about your coaching style.
So they don't
just on the system change. It was in Friedman's 32 Thoughts is where I read it. The Predators made a couple of system changes, allowing their defense to pinch in the offensive zone and not be as solely focused on getting the puck up ice on the breakout. Sometimes going to D is not a bad thing. And then they lost 3-2 to the Leafs. I get that. Okay, now we're trying to help out the offensive talent by letting the defense play some offense, but clearly it's the offensive guys you got here, the forward group who can't get anything going. It's time for some sort of change here.
There's something to be said about shooting and scoring. Just to give you an idea, so I looked at their shots per game, expecting it to be in the Earth's crust.
No, they shoot, and their shooting percentage is like 3%.
So this is the thing. They take 29.2 shots per game. They're 14th in the NHL. Yeah. One spot behind the Leafs. They're nearly identical, actually, in that way, because they allow 29.9 shots against per game. So that's only a difference of negative 0.7. That shouldn't be enough to put you in last place.
If you go through every single one of Nashville's stats, it's not unreasonable.
No.
The only thing that they're absolute dog shit at is scoring at 5-on-5.
And to give you an idea, so
their power play kind of sucks right now.
A team that is closer to identical to Nashville. So Nashville takes 29.2 shots per game. The Jets take 29.1. The Jets score on their shots. Maybe not so much lately, but that was their thing at the beginning of the season, is you could not allow them to shoot. It was going in. So maybe that's just it. Like, they have all these guns, and we all got, we were talking about our Chicago prediction at the beginning of the season, giving Jesse crap. I'm pretty sure I had the Preds winning the division or like finishing second. Right there with Colorado. The Central is a friggin' mess, and so's that team. I don't see the Preds as something that can continue.
No.
And like that,
we need to take this seriously. Like, there was a point several weeks ago where I would have been like, they'll figure it out.
Nope.
I'm actually.
It's long enough.
It's getting worse.
yeah.
It's getting worse.
It got late quickly.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're well into you suck. Like
So then
Saros
okay.
is playing.
yeah. Also,
fine.
I disrespected Mark Janikowski, who did score.
He did.
In the third period there to make it 3-2
The old Blake Jinx.
for Nashville.
Yeah, because that's the guy
for-
you thought would score, Mark Jankowski. Third line, Mark Jankowski. No disrespect, Mark, but you weren't the guy that we had on the bingo card. Now, okay, Jesse, Steve, you are Barry Trotz. Your skill is coaching, but now you find yourself. Yeah, he does have the highest shoulders in
He
the league.
does. He does.
No one, and when he has shoulder
And a
pads
ring. And a
s-
cup ring.
no, dude, we could still.
It's big too.
There you go. Okay, so you're Barry Trotz. There you go. Big ring. Big ring. What do? It's time to change something.
Oh, here. Wait. So in this exercise, is the goal to make the Nashville Predators better?
The goal is to, I think, find a direction. What's the decision on the direction? You guys look at this roster. You look at what they signed this year. You look at what they have. You can even bring up Puckpedia. I can bring it up for you if you want. What do you do? What direction do you go in? I'm not asking for a specific move. I'm asking, do you add to this group, try to find a center? Or do you go, okay, I'm going to actually make good on that quote that I have from 102.5 The Game, and we're going to start the rebuild. By the way, I hope they waive Tommy Novak, and I hope the Leafs claim him because he would be really great as the
that'd
third
be
line
so
center
funny.
in Toronto. Be
After
amazing.
months of being like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
And, oh, man, he's sick.
He was sick last year. He was. He was.
The direction I go if I'm Barry Trotz is to the beach because I have retired because I'm not great at this, and that's okay. I was really great at one thing. I did it from 1997 until 2023. I don't need to do this anymore. Take care. I'm going to stare at my shiny ring. Okay. There's a lesson to be. Adam, what's
I'm just looking at their contract. Keep going. Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going.
Here. This isn't sexy, right? But I'll try.
Okay.
Because you want a big move, you're not going to get a big move. Trouba is a possibility, but here's my suggestion. In the early 90s, might have even been the late 80s, the Leafs sucked and the Nordiques sucked. The difference was the Nordiques wanted to suck. The Leafs did not. The Leafs thought they were good, so much so that they did not have their first round pick, which was terrifying because their first round pick was close to being the first overall pick. And that year, the first overall pick was supposed to be Eric Lindros. So the Leafs were quite upset about the fact that they were crap. And the Nordiques said, hey, you want to be not crap. We want to be as crap as possible. How about we start giving you our bad players, right? Is there a Jason Dickinson from Chicago trade to Nashville where the Blackhawks are like, hey, we want to move, like the Blackhawks want to improve, but also we're rebuilding. You're not rebuilding, you just stink. So, hey, how about you have all these draft picks. How about you give us one of them? Here's Jason Dickinson and helps you up the middle. And then when they're all healthy, you have O'Reilly, Dickinson, Novak, which isn't great, but it's better.
And Svechkov, I think.
And Svechkov, who I like that kid.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know.
Worth mentioning, also Juuso Parssinen, let's not forget him. Yep. Worth mentioning that Brady Shea has a no move and a modified 15-team no trade clause. Stamkos has a full no move.
When was he, or how long is his deal?
4 years.
Okay.
Marchessault, by the way, has a no move, as in you can't be sent to the minors or waived, and a 15-team partial no trade. But Stamkos cannot be moved unless you ask him. And you know what? Based on his press conference, maybe. Maybe.
So, do you see the difference in conversation between Nashville and Chicago, where we look at Chicago and they fire Luke Richardson, and I'm like, I could see a coaching change helping there.
Mm-hmm.
Is Andrew Burnett bad? Is he that bad? His record suggests he's nothing but good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His record is, but like, I don't know, maybe the Preds just go with the trend. Hey, the trend is to fire coaches with unbelievable winning percentages. Jay Woodcroft, goodbye. Sheldon Keefe, goodbye. Jim Montgomery, goodbye. A couple of them got scooped right back up. Boy, listen, they have to do something.
Yeah,
They can't. Oh yeah, Christmas. No, now.
Like Adam said, we know right now what it is, and it's not great. I just want to check something about the 5-on-5 shooting percentage for the Nashville Predators in the history of Money Puck. The shooting percentage on shots on goal, the Nashville Predators currently this season have the worst ever. They go back to 2008, 2009. They have the lowest shooting percentage. The second worst. So right now, Nashville is shooting 5.37% on shots on goal at 5-on-5, which is the worst ever.
So for every 100 shots, they get 5 goals.
The second worst ever. You want to take a guess? Which franchise?
I'm going to say the Edmonton Oilers that year that they had that dog shit power play and penalty kill. Remember they were like 40% or something?
It's a team from the 14-15 season.
It's the Toronto Maple Leafs.
It's the Buffalo Sabres.
It's the Arizona Coyotes.
Oh!
Who
underratedly horrible.
That season at 5-on-5 for the whole season, they shot 5.7%. So Nashville's still below that right now.
And here's the part that's so damning about that is that Coyotes team really didn't have a lot of talent on it.
Oh, no.
The Preds team, talent-wise, like if you were to line up the Coyotes team in their era and the Preds team now in just NHL 25, 100 times out of 100, the simulation is Preds win. Right? Like Preds win.
So this is interesting because you would think, okay, that will what's that word, Adam? Their shooting percentage is going to
Progress
to the mean. They're progressing. It's getting better. Re means going.
You're making
backwards.
the math community so upset.
Yeah,
I don't think you're right.
That's you know what, Jesse? That's because he's not.
Yeah. I honestly don't think you're right about that. I think
Latin prefix re means back or again.
Yeah, but regression towards the mean is a thing.
It's
Adam,
repetition,
you and I took math together.
repetition or withdrawal.
In stats,
Reseed, reject, reduce, reflect.
Can I
return.
read from Wikipedia? The Wikipedia article on regression towards the mean writes, in stats, regression toward the mean, also called regression to the mean, reversion to the mean, and reversion to mediocrity is the phenomenon
fair enough.
where if one sample of a random variable is extreme, the next sampling of the same random variable is likely to be closer to its mean. So yeah, it's a thing, Adam.
Well, you know what stats people are not good at? Fucking words, okay? Fucking words. That ain't your department, guys. We get it. You're good with graphs. Latin prefixes, not your thing, all right?
But it's like,
I said it.
It's a stats thing.
Yeah, well,
It's a
stats
term.
This. You're wrong.
It's a term.
Change it.
Look at all this
You know what's
fun
crazy? When the
stuff.
evidence is in front of you,
Look at
change
this.
it.
You know what? It's 2024. What about how I feel?
Yeah, exactly.
That's all that matters.
What about how it's used in the rest of the language?
I feel like it's wrong.
the
so it
rest
is.
of the language.
What about this? What about all these
Yeah, what about
numbers,
all that,
Adam?
Jesse? What about all those fucking math?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Math.
Mr. Amani,
Bet
I'm
you,
so
bet you
sorry.
couldn't read this little thing.
I can't read that. You're
Yeah,
absolutely
neither can
right.
I.
I can't do any of that.
I can barely speak English. You think I
Yeah.
can read math?
I'm trying to look at their schedule on we've reached this part of the season where it's like, all right, so when's guy gets fired week?
I guess we're at guy gets fired week.
Well, you usually wait for a homestand, but that's not necessarily the case. So they are in Canada. I'm sure they cannot wait to friggin' leave because they lost to Toronto. They lost to Montreal. They got Ottawa tomorrow. Then they play Calgary at home, 2 games on the road, Dallas, Colorado. Then the week of the Christmas trade freeze, they have a homestand. And I'm thinking you should maybe ask for luggage from Santa because they're going to pitch everyone out the door.
Yep. So Jesse, I didn't get your answer on this. You're the general manager in this situation. but your strength is coaching.
I'm Barry
Sorry, I
Trotz.
do want to throw that out there. It's important.
I'm Barry Trotz right now.
You're Barry Trotz. Get those shoulders up, sir.
All right, so I got no hair.
What are you doing? Are you doubling down on the veterans, or are you kickstarting the rebuild?
I think he made a lot of. I appreciate that he went for it this offseason because you always
Absolutely.
you always like drama. You always like seeing
And they
them
played
spend
well enough
money.
that he should.
Yeah, it's like okay, this is good, cool. Take a shot. I don't know if they played well enough. Like that Vancouver series, is that enough to make you spend all this money on these big name contracts and these big name vets? But I've been banging the drum these last couple of days here in that they have the assets to do something, because Barry Trotz clearly believes that there's a better team in here, and their fix seems to be very simple: shoot the puck better. Get to opportunities where your shooting percentage isn't the worst in the history that we've ever seen in the National Hockey League. So I would honestly spend assets to go try something.
Yep.
I would go get a center with the $7 million you have, $7.5 million in cap space, and 3 first-round picks.
Have a thought.
Like, what's that?
You know who makes roughly $7 million, Jesse?
Who?
If you're the general manager.
Who was that?
Who plays a style that you might like.
Who's that?
That would be Calgary's Nazem Kadri.
No, there's not enough scoring there.
No?
No, there's not. He's not like I don't.
And Nazem Kadri?
He's better than what you got.
He's better than what you got. I don't know. I don't know if I look at Naz and I say that's the thing that's gonna just
He's not burning the lights
jumpstart
out
our
this year.
offense.
Okay, fair.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
burning the lights out guy is not available.
I'm gonna spend it. I
No.
have a lot.
Yeah, but it's not for sale. Like, hey,
Everything's for sale for the right price.
No, well, yeah.
You got 3
but-
first-round picks, Jesse.
I keep saying
Okay, it's 3 first-round picks for Nazem Kadri.
that's too much.
Cool, Don Maloney. I'm hanging up the phone.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
that's
Like-
too much.
No, like I need a center who's really good at scoring. Okay, a lot of teams have those. They're called the pillars of the franchise.
Kadri had 75 points last year. He's only got 16 and 27 this year. But,
When was the last time Nazem Kadri scored 30 goals in a season?
Leafs 17-18. I'm looking at the stat sheet.
Colorado. His
He did not score.
Adam-
30.
Adam
I'm
said
right.
it. Adam
I'm right.
said
I'm
it.
looking at the
Adam,
stat sheet.
Adam said it.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
are you serious?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
never scored 30 with Colorado. He got 28.
He didn't score
No.
30 in Colorado.
28 and
28
59
goals.
assists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Last year, 29 goals
Wow.
Yep.
on a Flames team where if you just want to go do your own thing, you could, because they were very good.
They sure could do that. But here's a
I don't know.
crazy-
Nazem Kadri might be the answer. If that's what he wants to do, at least it's something. At least you're bringing in something that could help your center depth. But go do something with the assets, because they shouldn't be this bad.
It's novel idea. Novel idea. You got no depth at center. Steven Stamkos plays on your team, and they tried him at center last night between Forsberg and Nyquist.
Yeah, so he's going to get a little run here because the week-to-week injury with O'Reilly, it doesn't look like it's just like a one-off scratching. It looks like it's going to be week-to-week. So maybe Stamkos at center can do something, but also
Here are their centers. Are you ready, guys? Here's your. You guys are the GMs here. They're going to tell you what your centers are.
Projected lineup for tonight or tomorrow.
Stamkos, Jankowski is your second line center. Svechkov and Michael McCarron.
What happened to Colton Sissons? Is he out too?
He's now playing right wing. Jankowski, by the way, was playing left wing on the third line against the Leafs a couple of days ago.
I don't think it's coaching.
I feel like it might be construction of lineup. Zachary Leroux, by the way, noted Alan Walsh client, had about 40 people show up at the Montreal Canadiens game last night.
Oh my God, that was insane.
Yeah, he was playing for free.
Oh,
That night.
a lot less than free.
Yeah, like he spent his entire week's paycheck on
Oh,
that. Like,
easily.
how much? You know what? That's a question. We're supposed to be recording with Alan this afternoon. I wonder how many free tickets you get in an away arena before you have to start paying.
Not as many as he used.
I don't think you get any free tickets.
Do you not?
No, I think you have
I think
to-
at home you would,
I think
right?
they all come out of your paycheck.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works. We'll ask them, but I'm pretty sure if you request tickets, they'll come out of your paycheck.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he looked at how crap the Preds are, and he's like, "No, you know what? I don't think they're sending me down." Yeah. So, hey, everyone, come out.
I'll be in this one.
Yeah, no, I'll be in this one.
there.
I'll be in there for the.
You'll be able to watch me play.
It's the best feeling when your clothes fit and look good, and you can comfortably wear them all day long. And that's exactly how we feel about our clothes from Doer. Jeans especially. Man, comfy, stretchy, And if you've got hockey legs, which is means you have a big gluteus maximus and maybe some thick thighs with a double C. Trust us, you have to try Doer because they actually, the great thing about Doer is it's not fast fashion. This is supposed to be long-lasting fashion. You get pants, you can actually clean the pants or anything else because there's other things that you can buy on the site.
Freeze them.
Don't even have to freeze them. You just put them in the wash. But the great thing about it is
they're trying out a new slogan. Doer, put it on your butt.
basically, you can wear this denim anywhere, and it's sustainable, and it breathes. So they've got the fireside denim and all-weather denim, perfect for colder weather months to keep you warm without overheating. This is my thing. I wear pants that are intentionally cold normally so that I won't overheat, because there's nothing worse than overheating. I'd rather be cold.
Doer's got a location at Square One. And I know Steve will never visit because he refuses to go out to Mississauga, but that's okay.
Past Yonge Street.
They also have a location on Ossington, which is the west end of Toronto, which is a little closer, but it's also past Yonge, so I don't know if you'll visit, but you should go.
Yeah.
Very nice store.
There are flagship stores all over Canada and the United States. And crazy story, if you go to shopdoer.com/STP, there's a 20% discount for you on your first purchase. Again, shopdoer, DUER.com/STP. Shopdoer.com/STP. Not only are they great for you, might be great for the holidays too. 20% off. 20% off. Shopdoer.com/STP. Let's do a little bit on that Leafs game, just from the Leafs perspective. They didn't really turn on anything until the third period.
No.
But once it started going, it was the Mitch Marner show. And
it was so fun.
So the thing was, we've been concerned about putting Marner Matthews not together or back together not because that they're not good together. Clearly they are. But because they become pretty predictable.
Yes.
And I didn't see that. I know it's their first few shifts back together, but holy moly.
And yet, it was Mitch passing to Austin without a shot on goal.
Yeah.
I think it might just be this team's so bad that it doesn't matter if they predict what we're doing. We're going to pants them anyway. And just because I prefer to see other things with the Leafs lineup to Matthews and Marner being played together doesn't mean you should never do it. No, that's a great option.
It just means you shouldn't be afraid to break them up.
What a luxury. You're Craig Berube, nothing's happening. You got to get out the blender, and your option is, I'm going to put Matthews and Marner together? What a luxury.
There's also something to be said for the Predators preparing for Austin and Willie and Tavares and Marner, and then surprising them when things switch up. You know,
Yes.
It's a different scheme. It's a different players they have to defend with their first pairing or whatever, how they want to match that up. So you shock them, and Austin and Mitch look great together.
And I don't know what it was, and he did end up getting a goal, so it's hilarious. I didn't like William Nylander's game.
No, he was kind of sleepy like the rest of the team.
Sleepy and complaining at the refs, which is not something you see him do too often. And he was Matthews' line mate. And if you're Craig Berube, you're like, all right, he doesn't have it.
Yeah.
This other guy's been our best player. So I'm going to put him with the best goal scorer in the world. And man, it's so weird when that works.
Yeah. Even when Nylander scored the power play goal, it wasn't like he was like overly excited.
No.
He was just kind of like, he raises his hand.
Well, even that is like, he didn't score that goal. He's the one who put the puck in. But like Matthew Nye scored that goal.
Right.
That was a freaking sexy pass. Like Matthews got 2 goals. No, he didn't. Mitch gave him those goals.
Yeah.
You know? The Mitch Marniest stat I've ever seen. Over the last 2 games, he has 0 shots on goal. He has 5 assists.
That is very him. That's very him.
Refuses to shoot the puck.
Yeah.
Except because he did shoot the puck and the ref got in the way and screwed me out of 4 fantasy points, and I'm pissed.
Oh.
That was garbage. And also, my hockey team could have scored. Dude, the Preds could have tied it after that, and it would have been a thing.
After Jankowski scored?
No, after because Jankowski scored to bring them within 1.
Yeah.
Then Marner has like an easy empty netter, and the ref got in the way.
Yeah.
If the Preds come down to the other end of the ice and tie it, I think some people would have been grumpy about it.
I've also noticed Marner getting a little spicy with the refs. There's a lot of yapping. And here's the thing.
There's too much.
I respect it. to a point, but at a certain point, these are human beings and they'll start to get mad at you.
The shaking your head stuff, no. They very obviously got tired of Keith's shit here. And that works its way down the roster, right? Like, does Michael Bunting get a better whistle with a coach that refs can stand?
Probably.
But
How's that going in New Jersey, I wonder, if any Devils fans
I don't
weigh in
know.
on this? I would like to know.
I would like to know as well. Yeah, is Keith screaming himself purple at the refs
Regularly?
with you? Because like, listen, every coach screams at the ref. I mean, Paul Maurice is hilarious, and he's the reigning head coach cup champion. But no, it got to a not good, toxic place. Everyone lips, everyone chirps. Everyone's a politician. The Lightning scream at the refs all the time. One of my favorite, like, underratedly funny clips over the last month was who was the Bruin? I think it was Zadorov. He pokes Evgeny Malkin from the Bruins bench.
Yes. Yeah.
And Malkin turns around and swings his stick at him. And the whole Bruins bench goes, whoa! Like that fell out of the sky. Like, our guy does something, it's hilarious. Their guy does something, son of a bitch! And the NHL gave them both a $5,000 fine because they looked at those two things and said, these are the same. It's so bad. It's so bad. They have no interest in improving. It's so bad.
Zadorov and Malkin hate each other too, which is fun.
Good. It's hockey.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
5,000 is the maximum allowable. So
I know, it's still poo.
Yeah, you're not going to suspend
Still
guys
poo.
for that.
Zadorov has been a grumpy Gus recently. Did you see his cross check on Lucas Raymond?
when was that?
I don't remember when it was, but it was very Bruiny, very Nikita Zadorov-y. He slashed Lucas Raymond. Raymond shakes his hand. He does the ooh, ow, ow. Zadorov thinks he sold the call. So he's like, all right, I'll give you something to wince about. And he just cross-checks the dog shit out of him. Jesse, are you looking at it right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
It's a very good one.
It's a lot of chaos.
Let's all watch in silence.
A lot happening. Adam, what are you doing over there?
I'm trying to watch to see if there was anything else from the Kyle Davidson press conference that we missed. Mm-hmm. And I'm having a look at, so Emily Kaplan for Jake Trouba has said that Detroit, Ottawa, Buffalo, and Columbus are the people. If he doesn't, so this is the, back to the Trouba thing for a second. As New York said, they apparently told him yesterday, pick one of our trade options, or we're putting you on waivers at 2. You can sleep on it. You better have an answer for us.
So
that's why I just wanted to update that.
What are the teams?
Detroit, Ottawa, Buffalo, Columbus. So
Detroit.
So he's coming to the Atlantic, is what
Buffalo.
we're saying.
Where's Columbus?
Columbus seems to be the leader, though.
So, okay. So what's interesting about that is they're the last team in the waiver priority,
Which is why they want the trade for him.
So Detroit is 28th. I did not know things were that bad.
They're bad.
Ottawa is 26th. I did not know things were that bad. Then Buffalo is 23rd and Columbus is 22nd.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Out of those 4 teams, you probably wouldn't predict Columbus would be the best one heading into the season. Good for them.
Yep.
I don't know what to read from that. Other than, like, if you're Trouba, there's a real good chance you go to Ottawa, which means you go to Canada, which means you're going to have some really tough family conversations.
Maybe he should have just taken this Detroit thing this summer, and you know what I mean?
He still might.
Well, yeah, because if Detroit is still in, that surprised me that they were still in.
Buffalo uproots his life the least, probably.
But Detroit at least brings him close to family.
Where's he from?
Michigan.
Detroit. Or not Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah. But he wants to play in the West, apparently. None of those teams are in the West. So.
Wasn't Columbus Western Conference for
no, I don't think so.
a little bit? Weren't they? I thought they were for a little bit. Rocking a hard place there.
Yeah. Worth mentioning, by the way, it came out after the World Junior. Remember, we talked about the World Junior Championship rosters and certain guys, Barlow, Seneca, TJ Ginla being left off the rosters. TJ Ginla is having hip surgery and will be out the remainder of the year, so that makes more sense.
Brutal.
But, Jesse, can you bring up this graphic that I just texted you? Because I thought this was real funny. It seems like the Oshawa Generals were as confused as we were as to why Barlow and Seneca were left off, because look at that caption. Your World Junior Championship Canada Oh, wait.
Gee.
Spicy.
That is spicy. Colby Barlow, Beckett Seneca, Zachary Sandu, the defense partner of one Ben Danford.
No way.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. That's crazy. That's crazy. I do like that the graphic, though, is of Beckett Seneca and not Colby Barlow, who is the first star.
Well, because Beckett Seneca is the third overall pick, and Colby Barlow's had a cold start.
Yeah, Beckett Seneca not being on the camp roster is unjustifiable.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Do we want to do the press conference, Jess?
Sure.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
We always talk about the bad teams. We never shout out the good teams. Ottawa, nice win last night. Josh Norris, 41 seconds left in the game in a tied 1-1 game against Detroit, comes up with a snipe show to win the game for Ottawa. It's beautiful stuff.
Ottawa currently sit third last in the Atlantic Division.
It was a big game because Atlantic Division matchup, they're struggling as of late. They had a shootout loss against the Ducks to end their West Coast swing. You come back, or that was the West Coast swing. Then you come back home. You play Detroit. Big bounce back game. You get late winner. It's good stuff. You steal the extra point, which could matter come the end of the season. So good win for Ottawa.
I like the Linus Olmark, his kids are pumped about snow thing. Do you guys see that? Linus Olmark's kids are like super pumped that there's snow in Ottawa because they get a lot of snow in Boston. So
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
that's what they were saying. Yeah, it's
Snows
crazy.
in Boston.
I know.
I was like, wait.
It does snow in Boston.
Exclusively played in
it was
cold
a clip that
places.
went viral yesterday. I'm not making it up. All right.
I think
All right.
Yeah, okay.
As long as we're shouting out guys who are doing well, Joey Decord won again last night, 12-6-1 with a 9-13. Get your passport. Damn passport, Joey.
Ottawa's got Nashville tomorrow, which is hella fun. Because so Nashville finishes up that Atlantic Division East Coast slow road trip with Ottawa on Saturday, who's riding high. Do you guys have any predictions for what if it's a bounce back win for Nashville?
Yeah, someone has to win because it's in the rules. No, I think Nashville goes from bad to worse. Ottawa wins that one.
Adam?
Yeah, I think I also believe that Nashville loses that one.
They don't have centers. Like what?
Yeah.
Like, of course Ottawa.
I also
wins that
think
one.
Ottawa's better than they've shown. I just think that they're
on home ice.
I think that they've got to shake things up there. I think the whole idea, remember the Pierre LeBrun piece that we talked about a few weeks ago where it's like, well, Staios isn't going to trade his way out of a problem. Okay, man, cool. But we all know you are. So you're not going to telegraph that to the league the way the Rangers did.
Yeah.
But yeah, you are going to make a trade and it is going to be significant and you need to.
Very often the best move to make is the one you don't make. And that feels like it could be the case with Ottawa. Nashville, it does not. No. The best move you can make is the one you make, except Barry Trotz has a horrible early track record as GM, and what a mess.
Yep. Also, I want Staios to put his ass on the line for something here. What other than getting
Linus Ulmer.
Okay, but like,
No, I know. He's got to do something else.
yeah.
Apparently he's trying to get Jacob Trouba because he listens to the show.
So then they are going to make a move.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see.
Okay. This is from a viral tweet. Thomas Northcutt tweeted this out, but somebody on our Discord server hit the link in the description to join us on Discord. Their name is Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
Rachel writes, "This made the rounds on Twitter. See how many you can guess. I don't think anyone on there got more than 8 right. So it is a graphic, and it says, name the star. Teams from NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, WNBA, MLS, and NCAA D1. So what we have is a bunch of stars that are just black stars, but they're all blacked out logos of teams from one of those leagues.
So team 13 is the Dallas Star.
Team 13.
Bottom left.
See, is that the Dallas Star or the Cowboys?
No, that's the Dallas Star.
That's the Dallas Star?
Yeah.
Which one's the Cowboys? Shouldn't the Cowboys be on there?
Okay, get your fucking whiteboard.
Okay, we need the whiteboard. This is gonna be a tough listen, folks.
Adam, you
I don't know.
I don't know where the whiteboards are.
Oh, you don't have one?
No, they were moved. I have no idea where they are.
I don't know where they are.
You guys have to talk on
No.
the podcast.
All right. Oh. I
don't want to. Do you want to?
Not
Here.
really.
I'm not going.
I'm over this talking thing.
Stupid.
I don't want to talk to her. I want to launch a meme.
You guys combined heads. So there's one pen.
Here, Steve, you're right.
One pen, a bit of paper. I think the whiteboards are out in the hall, but that's okay. We can use pen and paper. Okay. Maddie, bring up the star graphic. Let's do this.
Okay.
I have no idea. Team 1.
Team 6.
What? No. What's your goal?
2.
To get
No.
That's all I have, dude. I don't know any of these. I have no idea, except for Team 13, which I'm. Team 12 or Team 13. One of those is Dallas, and one of those. Well, both of those are Dallas.
Okay, you say 2. So if you get 3 of these stars right, you win.
Okay.
Okay.
Is
The goal is 3.
Team
Just
12.
get 3 stars.
Team 12 is either Cowboys or Dallas Stars. Team 13 is either Cowboys or Dallas Stars. So it's a question of which is which.
So, okay, the one I'm confident of is
Team 6 is the Suns.
The Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
Oh, Team 14 is Polestar.
Yeah. It is. It
I
does.
guess-
You're right. It is Polestar.
I guess Team 13, yeah, let's do Dallas Stars.
Team 12 then has got to be Cowboys.
Team 12 is Cowboys? Yeah, I think you're right. So, Cowboys. Team 13. This is going to be a tough listen, folks. I'm sorry.
We're probably getting 0 the way Jesse's laughing.
Dallas Stars.
See, the D1, NCAA D1 sucks because I just don't pay attention.
The Team 1 looks like one of the alternate logos for the Golden Knights.
Which one's it? I think Team 15 is the Astros.
You think Team 15 is the... No.
You don't think that's the Astros? That is absolutely the Astros logo.
Okay, fine.
Absolutely.
Stop screaming. Lower your voice. Hurt my feelings. Team 15? Okay,
Yeah.
Astros.
Has to be.
Who are the other star teams? Like, who the hell is Team 10 with that weird flat star?
So it looks like it's like a badly deflated balloon after a birthday party.
Team 16 is Xbox One. Okay, Team 1, I'm putting Vegas.
Vegas what?
Golden Knights. That's the shoulder
Oh, right.
patch, isn't it?
Yeah.
Vegas GK, goalkeeper. Like, who the hell's the Satan Star? Team 2. The upside down one. Dude, this is impossible.
Yeah, it's a really good idea. It's a really good idea.
Do you want to submit?
Yeah, let's just submit.
Okay, sure.
All right.
We guessed 5.
Yeah.
What are you guessing?
Number 1 is the Vegas Golden Knights.
No, Chicago Fire.
Son of a bitch.
Okay.
Number 6 is the Phoenix Suns.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah!
There you go.
2 more, Steve. 2 more.
Let's go. Team 12 is the Dallas Cowboys.
12 is the Dallas Stars.
No!
But I'm pretty sure 12 and 13 are the same.
They're
and
almost the same.
They're so close.
I think I'll give that to you because 12 and 13, one is either FC Dallas and the other one is Dallas Stars. So
Wait, which one is the Dallas Stars?
I think that you can swap them.
No, you can't. They're different.
Yeah? They're different?
Slightly different. Ever so slightly.
This one of the comments writes 13 is FC Dallas and 12 is Dallas Stars.
That's psycho.
So there you go.
Okay, well, so we got that wrong. And number 15 is the Houston Astros.
No, Texans.
Oh, it's absolutely.
Which one is the Astros?
The Astros?
No, wait. Astros is team 9. Isn't it?
I don't think that's
I don't think so.
Astros at all. Hold on. Let me see. Houston.
Jesse, bring the damn thing. Wait, do you not have the full version of this?
No, the person who did it didn't tweet out the full thing.
Oh,
Okay, they should be
no,
kicked
that's
in the nuts.
not the Astros.
They should be kicked in the nuts.
That's not
yeah,
the Astros.
they should be kicked in the nuts. How are we doing this and we don't have the answer?
The Astros are 8. That looks like
What?
that's the 8 behind. See the Houston Astros? See the 8 behind that? You see how it's like it's like
Boo.
3D-ish?
Boo.
Yeah.
Who on that?
I'm
I was
pretty
thinking the
sure
other
it's 8
Astros
there.
logo, like the 80s one. But okay. That's fair.
Yeah. Anyways,
I hate this game.
Yeah, this game sucks.
hard game.
Also, tweet the answers, you fucking
Yeah, that's
idiot. Like,
annoying. I had to go through all the comments and see everybody's comments.
Oh, there's a sports account that comes up on my For You page on TikTok all the time. And it's a trivia one.
Oh.
And then if he doesn't get them all right, the guy just ends the video by going, nope. And that's it. That's the end of the video. And you're left going, no! And you have to go to the comment section. And I'm sure it games the algorithm, but it just makes me angry.
Got it.
Very angry.
Sir Ray on Discord said, what are your views about Team Canada leaving Fluery and Logan Thompson off the roster for Four Nations? Logan Thompson, I thought, could have had a good shot. Has a great argument over Sam Montembeault. That's the one I was a little confused about.
So the Montembeault thing doesn't make sense to me. Logan Thompson is the guy. He's played really well. He's got the best numbers of any of the goalies, any of the three on that roster. It blows me away that Team Canada is going off of, like, respectfully, and I know Aiden Hill and Binnington have won cups, but it's been a long time since Binnington's been good. And it has, man.
Yeah.
It has. His numbers are not good.
He's up and down.
Well, but,
very up and down.
Okay, and you know what? Maybe he comes in and he's killer in the tournament. I'm hoping for that. But, like, I think you play, as you do with an NHL team, you play the hot hand. Now, these rosters can change a ton before because obviously there's injuries and stuff. So maybe he does make the team.
They changed goalies in 2002 when they won Olympic gold. They changed goalies in 2010 when they won Olympic gold. In 2014, they had Carey Price and laughed.
Oh, I don't understand them.
laughed.
So somebody put out there, and I don't think this is true, but somebody's like, well, they needed a French-Canadian goaltender because of the politics of it. And I said to myself, so why wouldn't you bring Marc-Andre Fleury?
No, I think that's made up.
I think it's completely made up as well. And no disrespect to Sam Montembeault, but I haven't seen enough to make a call one way or the other, which tells me he shouldn't be on the team. I think you need to have, if you're going to have two guys who are ostensibly in their prime, Aiden Hill and Jordan Binnington, have a vibes guy. Maybe Marc-Andre Fleury doesn't play, but he is like your vibes guy in that dressing room.
I thought about that. Yeah. And
Do we blame this on Sid for not pushing hard enough for Marc-Andre?
The third goalie is also so irrelevant because it's a 4 game. It's minimum 3, max 4 game tournament.
Yeah.
There's no way you get to your third goaltender unless it's a complete disaster.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
There's no chance.
So you could have. I'm saying, like, you could have brought Marc-Andre Fleury for vibes if you really wanted to, and if you bring Sam Montembeault, it's okay. Like, but Logan Thompson also had better numbers.
You would have to have a goalie get pulled in each of your first 2 games to even, like, have a chance at seeing your third goalie.
Yeah, or injuries, you know.
Yeah, or injury. Like, it's not happening.
Yeah, the Logan Thompson thing is weird though. This is from Nick. At what point is too long on Twitter? At what point is too long to wait at a restaurant before you're able to say something / complain?
Depends on the restaurant.
Oh, I don't know these hosh posh bagosh places you're going to are.
Well, I don't. First off, you don't know what's going on in the kitchen. Okay, I think 10 minutes.
It's
10.
It's confusing if you
Before
don't
you're
even,
complaining.
if you don't even get checked on.
Yeah, you got to get checked on. I get that. Yeah.
Oh boy, it depends how good the banter is, too.
Wait, with
I
the
could
server?
go 20 minutes. Like if the conversation's good. But then all of a sudden I'll be like, wait a sec, I'm starving. What happened?
Yeah, I can see that.
This so rarely happens to me.
Mm-hmm.
So there was one time at like a college bar, and it was the morning after. So I'm sure all involved were hungover, including the staff, and they just forgot me and my friend existed.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I've had that happen.
They forgot we existed, and they were like, "Oh."
Yeah, has that ever happened to you guys where they've forgotten and then they try to play it off as though they didn't forget? Because I fully respect when they're like, "We're so sorry, we forgot," and I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." But when they're like, "Yeah, no, we're getting to you," you're like,
I'm the
girl.
No,
lowest
you forgot.
maintenance. I am the meme where the guy is sitting at the table and his very tiny wife is like, "That's not what he ordered." Like, dude, I'm not correcting you. I'll eat it. It's fine. I don't care. Thank you. Appreciate it. I don't want to disturb anyone.
Jesse, what's your answer on that?
I don't want to give anyone the worst day at their job.
It definitely depends on the circumstance. Like you show up somewhere and they're like, "Oh, we got like a 10-minute wait or something like that." And you're sitting there for half an hour. Like I would probably just leave. I would rather just leave than complain. I'm not a complainer at like public spaces like that, a restaurant or anything like that. So if like we're getting into egregious territory of when you told me the wait was for my seat, then I would probably just go somewhere else.
Right.
Leaving's so dry. Like just getting up and they discover you're gone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get it.
Are you guys talking about like waiting for the food or waiting for a seat?
No, waiting for the food.
Waiting for the food.
Waiting for the. Oh, okay.
Waiting for a seat.
I was talking about waiting for a seat.
I remember when I was like young and not married and didn't have a kid, I once waited for some stupid brunch place. It was like, that was like the whole thing to do 10 years ago when it was, you know, it was like a restaurant that was called like Le Papillon or some stupid name. And it was like, it was
on Front Street.
Yeah. No, it was on King East where I used to live.
Oh.
Anyway, long story short, maybe it wasn't Le Papillon. It was another one that was like a butterfly sort of logo or whatever. And everyone was, you have to eat here. It's so good. And it's like, at the end of the day, it's brunch. There are very few places that can screw that up or even elevate it that much. Like,
what do they have? I bet it's eggs.
The one place, I waited 40 minutes for that and I was unimpressed. But there was one where Jesse used to live in Liberty Village, which still has the best pancakes I've ever had in my life, which is Mildred's Temple Kitchen. And I waited an hour. And those blueberry pancakes were absolutely worth it.
Yeah, they have a line every weekend because they are delicious.
They are amazing.
Yeah, that line's worth it. I did the answer wrong then. I was talking about like waiting for the table, but waiting for your food. I don't know. You should say something fairly soon.
Yeah,
like if
10 minutes. 10 minutes. I said
10 minutes isn't bad. Yeah.
Because they get your water order, and once you're through your water, you're like,
all right.
Food shouldn't take that long.
No, and what's the rule in service? Isn't it like you were supposed to be sat and served in like 20 minutes, at least with an appetizer? Like it's like quick.
I don't know. Or like sometimes they'll even tell you like this one takes a little longer.
Yeah. I don't know.
I used to go out to restaurants so much more. I miss it.
Don't worry, man. You're getting into the zone where you can go to the family restaurant. You can get out to a Montana's or something like that.
Ooh.
Get some ribs. Delish.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Steve and I, and his better half and my better half and your child, went to the old spaghetti factory.
Oh, when?
Year. And Leo, he was having
not fucking having it.
Really?
he was having a ball of a time.
What happened?
He was I don't know. He was just he had his what does my wife always say? He had his nose at a joint. Yeah, I don't know what it was.
Wasn't.
But then you and Gabby were like, "Here's a present," and he was like, "Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna be happy now all of a sudden
Mood
for no
changed.
reason."
friggin' kid."
And there was another kid at one of the other tables because there's kids everywhere. It's the old spaghetti factory, and he was like climbing under the seat and he almost like got into our booth and stuff like that. I don't know if you remember that, but that kid was climbing all over. He was having a good afternoon, but yeah, Leo was not having it.
He was.
It's not easy to take a kid who's under 5 to a restaurant.
No,
like
when they get
it's
too
not a good
tired.
experience.
When they get too tired, you have T-3 minutes to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
We didn't time it properly.
Yeah. And so like I can Adam saying you're getting to the family restaurant stage, like having 2 of them now. I can't even imagine that.
Everly's cool with it, but 2 kids would be tough, I think. Everly's really good in a restaurant and doesn't need like an iPad or something like that. She just sits there and chats.
Yeah.
So the stories don't go anywhere at this point, but
No.
they just start and they don't finish. That's the 5.5, 6 years old. They don't finish. There's no end date. We're in stories for 20 minutes. Oh,
No, you're having an important conversation with your significant other, and Daddy, your brain needs protein. Yeah.
Oh, I don't get that.
No, for sure.
No, I get like Everly will be watching TV and she'll start explaining characters. I'm like, honey, I'm not watching this. I'm working over here. She's like, yeah, but the purple guy. And I'm like, what about him? Tell me.
What's that show?
Yeah. Anyway.
I always feel for parents when I see like big families and the kids outnumber the parents.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, you guys you're ganged up on. There's 3 of them or 4 of them and 2 of you.
You made the choice to be shorthanded the rest of your life. These kids did not choose that. Yeah. I was like, no, man, I'm staying on the power play. Thanks so much.
It's so good though. We're now at a Happy Meal incentive.
Oh, that's good.
Like the toy, we needed a Grinch toy yesterday. It was very important. But he was good at swimming. So
Oh.
He was good at swimming, so we got a Happy Meal.
yeah, this is my life. This is my life now. I kind of like it.
Did you get something?
What?
Did you get something?
I did not. I was a good boy.
Did
I
you-
waited till I went home.
Did you clean up
What do you mean?
the scraps that Leo doesn't finish? That's
Oh.
always that's the other thing. You get it's like, oh, I get some animal crackers for me.
Can I tell you the greatest thing?
Yeah.
And I don't care. This is going to sound disgusting to some of you, but it's sweet to others. Leo comes up to me and he hands me a half-eaten chicken nugget. And
Of course he does.
and I go, "What's this?" And he goes, "Dad tax."
What?
And he gives it to me. So sometimes I just I'll take a couple fries and I'll be like, "Oh, dad tax." And, he laughs about it because it's this silly little thing. Like, I took some of your food. But the dad tax is not supposed to involve you actively coming over to me and giving me the food.
He's making a prepayment.
He made
to his
he made a
taxes.
prepayment on his dad tax. You're not getting a return. Yeah, no.
No, you never get money back.
No, you never get money back from the dad tax. But so I had a half-eaten and slobbered on chicken nugget. It was great.
What's his Happy Meal order? The nuggets and with the apple slices,
Fries and apple
fries.
juice.
Apple juice, fries, nuggets. Okay,
Yeah.
not the little burger.
No.
The one that's like barely a burger.
It's barely a burger.
Like McDonald's is like, here's a burger for your kid. It's like a sliver of beef the size of a fingernail.
I used to cook those patties, and the timer was like 30 seconds.
Well, because they come pre-cooked. You're just warming them, aren't you?
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
Like you would expect longer than 30 seconds. But no, like if you cook it for longer than that, you will char the dog shit.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Anyway,
Never really like Happy Meals.
loves. She goes back and forth between cheeseburgers and chicken nuggets. I always love too that they include like a yogurt in it.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, that's first off, A, not healthy. It's full of sugar, and we didn't come here to be healthy.
Oh, you're upset at the yogurt.
No, I'm like, well, it's just like, oh, this is your.
Oh yeah,
here you-
Leo had the yogurt.
Here
too,
you
yeah.
go, dumb parent. This is you can feel less guilty now. They got their Go-Gurt. I'm like, guys, this is a sugar drink that looks like yogurt. I don't take Everly to McDonald's when we go to be healthy.
Right,
Like, no,
right.
you can get apple slices at home. You get some freaking fries and a burger or nuggets. It's your choice. Enjoy it. Love it. Embrace it. We're not getting it more than like once a month. But like when you get it, enjoy it. Commit to the bit.
Yeah, you don't go to McDonald's for the apple.
No,
Yeah,
especially because
yeah.
they're like
That's a
brown
great
anyway.
point.
Yuck.
I don't worry about it with Leo. You know why? You don't have to beg me to eat. I eat too much. I eat to a fault. He's 4, and he'll forget.
To eat?
He just won't.
Yeah.
He's having too much fun.
Oh.
He just the worst revelation we'll get. He's in kindergarten now. Is we'll unzip his lunch bag to find almost his entire lunch.
Aw.
And again, but he's happy and he's in a good mood. But we know that mood is about to expire with the speed of a friggin' rocket ship. And he's about to be tired and hungry and hangry so fast. And it's just because he forgot to eat. That's all.
Does that really have trouble eating?
Does Everly have trouble eating? No, she used to. She ate a whole bunch of vegetables, and ate really well. And then we sent her to daycare. And then she said, "Oh, I can say no to stuff," and then stopped eating vegetables for a couple of years, and now eats
Years.
Yeah, years. It was like impossible. You had to like sneak it into stuff. And now she'll eat broccoli, like just steamed broccoli, no salt or anything on it. She just crushes it. Loves peppers. Sorry, Steve. Loves cucumber. Eats really well. Actually, surprising, and never has had anything. We've never given her. And this isn't like, I'm not trying to be like anal retentive, but I was like, why would I give her anything else other than water? So I started, once you're allowed to, because there's like a point in which you're not allowed to give them water. It's supposed to be like milk or formula, and then you can start introducing it.
6 months or a year, I don't remember.
Yeah, whatever the heck that is. I just started giving her water, and so did her mom. And at both houses, she gets water and doesn't ask for juice and doesn't ask for milk, just wants water. And I'm like, great. You're doing what I figured out when I was like 18, because we grew up with juice boxes and 2% milk, and it's like whatever you could do not to drink water. And these kids today are like just drinking water like we should. It's good.
She's gonna have weak bones.
Yeah.
Not gonna get enough.
Sure.
She gotta get enough.
Nothing wrong with some
out.
milk. I just I don't know. I don't have a
Peanut brittle ass daughter.
Yeah.
You gotta strengthen those bones with a little calcium. Make sure she's not deficient.
They call her Mr. Glass. Do you remember that? Do you remember that?
Matt wants to know, Steve, you can end it off with
Matt?
this. Matt on Twitter, Matt Finlay, says, "I'm off sick today with a brutal cough. Does Steve have any recommendations on tea/drinks?"
Tea/drinks. Yeah, just the usual.
No. What we want is the concoction.
Give me a freaking second.
Drop the hulls in the fucking spinach and boil it and then stuff it up your ear.
That wasn't where I'd stuff it.
So the thing, don't ingest hulls rectally.
Okay.
I'm just gonna throw that out.
No butt chugging the halls, huh?
No butt chugging.
All right, give us the old Glynn family recipe.
You can if you take a lemon honey halls, put it in a piping hot. Pre-brew a lemon tea, lemon ginger tea, and don't have the bag and the hulls in there at the same time. That would be weird. Then put the lemon honey hulls in the tea, honey in the tea. Drink it. Feel better. Laugh at Jesse.
There you go.
Which orifice do you put it in?
I think it's maybe worth mentioning, guys,
Nose.
that Larry Brooks, and I hate him for this, he put it behind the New York Post's Plus page, so you have to subscribe to it.
Yeah, he did it personally.
He did it. It was his choice. But the Blue Shirts are targeting Brady Tkachuk in trade talks that would be a whopper. Man, it's going to be a good day. Steve, I assume that you're going to be shooting a video for the SDPN channel that might even be up before this podcast.
I literally cannot shoot one tomorrow.
So you better shoot one today.
So, oh boy. Well, I'm saying if it doesn't happen by a certain time, I'm just not going to be able to do it.
You have to wake up early and do it.
I'm not waking up early. You wake up early.
You wake up early.
Jesse, you wake up early.
Okay,
I can do that.
Let's wrap it.
I don't mind.
Maddie, you wake up early. Now you got to do it.
Now you got to do it, Maddie.
Look for Maddie's breakdown of the Brady Tkachuk deal.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.